Recording in progress.
Good morning to everybody. Can we start?
Morning, Chair. Yes, we can.
Thank you very much, Honorable Janji. We will be discussing the filling of vacancies for the position of Deputy Public Protector. Today, we are dealing with a report that must be debated in the House. The report was circulated yesterday. I hope everybody has received it. It will be taken as read. Can we flight the report? Maybe before we start with the report, let me first, are there any apologies?
Good morning, Chair. We've got an apology from Mr. Swart.
Honorable Swart, any other apology? None. Committee Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, Chair, we do have a quorum.
Okay. Thank you very much. You can start flighting the report. When you go up. Report of the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Correctional Services on the nomination of a suitable person for appointment as Deputy Public Protector, dated 3 April 2024. Are there any corrections on page 1? Page 2? Page 2? Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Mrs.
Good morning. No, it's Masako Check.
Oh, Honorable Masako Chege.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, members. Can you go up? There's somewhere where they are the team is using abbreviation on here.
We can't
Even
hear-
on top, I
we ca-
can't hear me.
Yes, you're breaking up.
Hello?
You're breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes, just go up a bit, must go up. I know this one that is the
OPP issue.
following her dismissal from OPP, and then also there's another. I want to go up and show you.
Can we maybe have the page number so that I know where to go?
All these abbreviation, if they can put the abbreviation in brackets, put abbreviation in brackets and write, yes, I see this one, you have put it properly, but when you go down, I think if we can limit writing abbreviation without giving explanation also. I think it's just a proposal.
No, that's why
Even
you give
his
abbreviation.
Hello, who's speaking now?
what?
It's Glynis, Chair. The reason for the initial abbreviation is so that you can use the abbreviation afterwards, surely.
I see. Chair, it's a proposal that can we write the wording in full and put the
way it will be up to the committee, but the way I understand Honorable Breitenbach to be saying is that when you start, you use the abbreviation and the full name, and then so that when you go down, there is no need. That is what I understand her to be saying. That once you write at the beginning abbreviation plus the full name, then there is no need to repeat it when you proceed. But it will be up to the committee if they strongly feel that we need to do it differently.
No, if the committee feels that is not necessary, I'm okay. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Can we proceed? We're on page 5.
Chair, Christine has her hand up.
Yes, Ms. Littleton.
Chairperson, I just wanted to propose if we go to 8.2. I got a comment last night after the report was. Can you go up, Bernard? Can you go to 8.2? That 8.2.1 to 8.2.3 chronologically doesn't fit as well here, and that perhaps we should move it to slightly later in the report. So my suggestion is that we put a full stop at the end of 8.2 instead of the semicolon, and we move 8.2.1 to 8.2.3 to a new 9.2. And then the 9.2 would read, the following facts are relevant, and then followed by 8.2.1, which will become 9.2.1, 8.2.2 will become 9.2. And
Yes.
8.2 will become 9.2.
Ms. Silverstone,
Yes.
then that, I think what I will propose to the committee is that is done. We break for 30 minutes or an hour. You do that. We present, because this what you are suggesting now is very confusing.
Okay, I don't need half an hour. I just need maybe 5 minutes. It's a
Can we
technical.
adjourn until 10 to 10 for a
Chair,
product to be
Chair,
presented?
maybe before that, I just have my hand out.
Okay.
It might help. Because I was not sure whether what I wanted to reflect on are corrections or additions or amendments. So now that you're suggesting that process, I might as well come in. And my point, having read the report, Chair, I felt there's one or two gaps that we need to fill in. And I want to start from 7.3 because the addition I want to make can either be 7.3 or it can be a new 8.1. And I'll explain that. So 7.2 says the interviews were conducted at Parliament on the 13th of March 2024. Now, what is missing in the report, Chair, in terms of chronological order, because the report we're putting together is likely to be a subject of scrutiny by critical platforms. We're preparing this for the House. It could even land itself at some point in court. And so in the manner that we do it, we've got to be satisfied with it. The first point I felt is an oversight, is missed out, and is very important. Is a fact that, Chair, that the committee started with a closed session, or what you call in camera, to prepare for the interviews. Remember, as members, that's a first session we started, and you can't have that session missed out of this process as if it did not happen. We had that session at the start of our meeting. There was I don't know whether we started at 8:30, but we had that session, which was a closed session, just for members. And I think it's important, significant enough for me, that be referred. And I'm saying it could either be 7.3 or a new 8.1. That's my first point. And if I were to go to 8.1, the current 8.1 that you have, it says, on the morning of the interviews, Honorable Breitenbach, on behalf of the DA, raised an objection. And I want to correct and amend that because it is not precise. When you say on the morning of the interviews, it can be 11 o'clock. It can be 11:45. It can be any time. It can be tea time.
Okay.
It is very specific. And I want to make the point. And I would have wanted to sponsor an amendment which says, at the commencement of the interviews, just before the first candidate was called in, then you say Honorable Breitenbach then. Because when you say on the morning of that, it means when we started meeting alone as a committee, she raised that, or after tea, or any time before 12. It is not specific, it's too general, and it's not helping. Because as a result of that intervention, you would know that every candidate that we interviewed was behind schedule. At 10:30, you'll forgive me because I write and I put time. At 10:32, for example, that's when we called in the legal advisor and so on. But I thought 8.1 needed to be put into a proper context as to at what point that intervention that was raised by Honorable Breitenbach was made, and not just as a general point that says on the morning. So these are the two areas I thought were missing, and for me are significant in the flow of the report, because it both affects in terms of what would have happened. And the first one was more critical, that you can't just leave that out because we're doing work. It was not an informal kind of a discussion. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Breitenbach.
Sorry, just a second. I just want to put my phone off. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, Chair, I have also some amendments to suggest. I've sent the amended document to Christine via email. And my suggested amendments are in blue, so she can do with them what she wants. Oh, just the will this person leave me alone.
Maybe
So I've
Honorable
sent to her in blue. She can do with them as she sees fit.
Yeah, Honorable Breitenbach, maybe what we need to do, just read them out as we proceed, where you feel that you need to make amendments or additions, like Honorable Janji has done.
Sure. So then my first suggested amendment would be on the current document as it now stands before it's amended. Is the current paragraph 8.2.3. And I would suggest that the amendment, damn this person. I would suggest that the amendment become a new paragraph. And my suggestion is this: a new sentence after set aside by a court of law. Ms. Mkhwebane argued in contradiction that there was no conflict, that there was no reasonable apprehension of bias, and that she was entitled to and intended to participate fully in the proceedings. I am going to become very angry. The majority of the members of the committee argued along these lines, suggesting that there were insufficient grounds to request Ms. Mkhwebane's recusal. Then at the beginning of paragraph 8.3, as it currently stands, before it commences with the committee requested, I think we should, to be accurate, as the Honourable Yankee says, we should add in the words, as a result of the impasse, the committee requested urgent legal advice. Then paragraph 8.4, however, as the committee deliberated on the advice, it quickly realized that its instructions to the CSLO were, I think we should include the words, they're incomplete and insufficient, because the legal advice was not really great. So I think we should say our instructions were incomplete and insufficient, because your advice can only be as good as your brief. 8.6, the committee determined to proceed. I think that in the interest of accuracy, it should read, the majority of the committee determined to proceed with the interviews. And at the end of that sentence, I would like you to add in, the Democratic Alliance registered an objection and proceeded only under protest. Those are my suggestions.
Maybe what we need to do.
Chair. Okay.
Sorry, maybe what we need to do, we are going to go through the documents with all those those additions or amendments, and then Christine is going to have time to go and clean up the document. Then we'll have a discussion on all of the proposals that have been suggested, and as we go through the document, so that we debate on the basis of a text that is in front of us. Does that cover you, Honorable Janji? You wanted to speak before.
I'm covered by you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nivot Druchen.
Thank you, Chairperson. Just a moment. Okay, good morning to everyone. I I had corrections on page 10, so should I mention it now or do I send it to Christine? I thought we'll go through all the corrections before we give the break, and that's the first thing. And then secondly, I'd like to ask Christine to put all the amendments as discussed today just in another color so that we can see where the changes were made. So just to give me time to read the full document before we come back after the break, please. Thank you. I had one more correction, just on page 10, if we go through the corrections. Thank you, Chair.
Can I suggest that Honorable Nevot we're on page 5, so that
Sorry, can you, Secretary unpin Wilma, please?
Then we're on page 5. Then when we reach page 10, you'll be given an opportunity to raise your issue. But I think your suggestion that amendments be highlighted in blue or whatever color, it's fine. Then so that we can, when we come back to deal with the document with those amendments, we will know exactly which amendments are we confident we are debating. Okay. Let's proceed, page 5. Page 6. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 8. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 10.
Chair, there's a hand up.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Mr. Raman. I'd forgotten Honorable Nevot. Honorable Nevot.
Okay, on page 10, 11.1. At the end, to nominate the candidate, or a candidate for not the two for appointment, So for the appointment as Deputy Public Protector. Yeah, that was it.
Thank you. Page 10.
For the appointment. Okay, no, that's fine. Thanks, that's all. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Page 10, page 11. So let's meet at 10:05. Can you go and deal with all the issues that were highlighted and that were added? Highlight them in blue so that we would know, and then members who can go through the document again from the beginning until the end. Can we meet at 10:05? Thank you.
Chairperson.
Honorable Nevot.
Chair, okay, can the amended document also be emailed to us? I don't, because it's difficult for me to just look at it when it's on screen. So if it can also be emailed before we show it on screen, please.
Okay. Members, now it's 8 minutes to 10. will it be that 15 minutes, will it be enough for you to go through the document, consider it, and come back, or would you need more time?
Yeah, no, Chair, 15 minutes, it's not going to be enough time.
What is the suggestion?
10:30, 10:30, Chair.
10:30, Honorable Janji?
Yeah, Chair, I don't have a violent objection, but my understanding was that we're going to be taken through the document with the highlighted amendments. And so it looks like you want to we want to do it double. So I at least 4:15 for me would be good, but 10:30 Valma is pushing it.
Yeah. You're saying your objection is not violent, but it seems to be violent.
It's
So,
pushing it. Let's get that.
okay. No, for the mere fact that we are dealing with a legal document with legal implication, as you've correctly said, Honorable Janji, I think for members it will be important that they read, they understand, they reflect, and feedback. So let's it's just yeah, I mean let's grant Honorable Nivot Tohan which it's a 15 minutes edition, so that people can look at whatever other implications that might be there.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We can start.
Yes,
Miss-
we can start.
Can you flat the report? Let's start from the beginning, and then if there are any issues that we pick up in the process that needs debate, we will debate them. And we proceed with the report. Any corrections on page 1? On page 2? On page 3? On page 4? Sorry, on page 4, 7.3, are we fine with the new insertion on 7.3? I don't see any hands, which means we are fine. Let's proceed. Page 4.
I think it simplifies it properly.
Thank you very much. Page 4. 8.1. We are fine with the new insertions. Let's proceed. 8.3. Honorable Janji. Honorable Janji.
No, thank you, Chair. I think part of and perhaps the last sentence, I certainly don't agree with that insertion, Chair, because I don't know what it attempts to do. And first, let me start making a general point at this point before I go straight to that. This is not the first time that we do a committee report. And whenever we do a committee report reflects the DNA of the committee, where we want to make political points. We don't utilize the committee work to do that. And those political points, political parties are free to make them when we go to the House for the debate. And I think that's going to be very important so that we don't break with that tradition. And I'll make this point even more further on. But in specifically on this one, I would agree with the first sentence that says Honorable Mkhwebane argued in contradiction, that there was no conflict, that there was no reasonable appreciation of bias, and that she was entitled to and intended to participate fully in the proceedings. Where I don't agree is the sentence that starts and says the majority of the members of the committee argued along these lines, suggesting that there were insufficient grounds to request Honorable Mkhwebane's recusal. Don't agree with that, Chair, because we articulated, for example, the need for us to continue, and that was just before we called in the legal advice, and would have made pertinent points about the fact that you already have, and the report mentions this later on, everybody would have been accommodated in Cape Town, others would have been there already. So the proceeding and going forward, but I don't like that we now get to be packaged as the members of the committee with the argument that Honorable Mkhwebane, Advocate Mkhwebane herself, made and defended. And so it gets to be made as if we now, what is being planted is that we specifically, as members of the committee, the majority members of the committee, said that there were insufficient grounds to request Honorable Mkhobane's recusal for this. And the point I'm making is that we made particular arguments that related to the fact that we were in that meeting. We had already made commitments financially, and we wanted to proceed and pending the legal advice and so on. So there's got to be a way of how we attend to this. It sits uncomfortably with me the way it has been packaged. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Janche. Honorable Breitenbach.
Thank you, Chair. I fully accept that it sits uncomfortably with the Honorable Janki, and it's clear why it sits uncomfortably with him. This isn't an attempt to package members along party lines. Honorable Janki himself argued earlier this morning for a report that reflects accurately what happened, and this reflects accurately what happened. And at this time in the proceedings, nobody argued about costs and the fact that the people were already there. The majority of the members of the committee argued that there were insufficient grounds to request Honorable Mkhobane's recusal. They disagreed with the argument that was offered by the DA. That's neither here nor there. It's not splitting it along party lines. It just happens to be that way. You need to have an accurate reflection. And this is an accurate reflection.
Are you done, Honorable Breitenbach?
Only for the time being, Chair.
Okay. On this point, you are done. Okay.
I am.
Thank you, Honorable Ngola.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I want to agree with the Honorable Janki's submission. One, I think it must be noted that the difference between what Honorable Janki raised as a missing point in our original report was a meeting we held before the resumption of interviews, which fairly closed that gap, because in as part of the original report, that part of our meeting, our committee meeting, was not reflected. I think now the original report in itself, Chair, does reflect of what happened on the day of interviews, and it does give an assertion in its original form that the committee approached the issue of the application for recusal due to conflict of interest and the reasonable apprehension of bias. The report itself does narrate to us that because the instructions we gave to the legal services unit were not enough for us to say, let there be recusal. Hence, we opted for a declaration on that, but said, let us be able to say this is the detail of what we're instructing our legal services to do. Then we'll attend to it when it comes back. The problem of Chair wanting to venture into what Honorable Breitenbach is doing is that we are going to be tempted to say A, B, C, D agreed, C, D, E did not agree. And from where I'm seated, that's not how our committee has been reporting. Our committee in its nature, actually committees in their nature operate on the basis of majority. So I don't see the actual need for us to specifically say the majority argued along those lines. So from where I'm seated, Chair, I think I agree with them, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Ngola, you are breaking.
Can you hear me now, Chair?
You are under the tree. You can proceed.
Can you hear me now, Chair?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
No, I'm saying, Chair, I agree with the submissions of Honorable Janki. Am I still audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, because I'm saying the difference between his submission it was a missing point, the point of us having a meeting before the resumption of interviews. Now, the difference with this one is that it wants to project that so and so agreed and so disagreed. So and so argued this way, so and so argued that other way. Anyway, committees operate on the majority. So to be specific about it, I don't think it's necessary. I'm not saying it's wrong, Chair. I say I don't think it's necessary for reporting purposes.
Thank you very much. Honorable Maseko Jele.
Thank you, Chairperson. I also wanted Chair to add on the views of Honorable Janchi and Honorable Kola on this sentence. I don't think it really sits comfortably with me also, Chair, because we were debating, we were looking at the issue from all other angles, but putting it this way, Chair, it is not, I don't think that it is correct, because now it seems as if it's only the DA who was pushing this issue alone without us looking into it. They might have raised the issue, Chair, of recusal, but we all agreed and looked into the matter in fact from different angles. So, and after that, we agreed, Chair, all of us, that let's go for the legal opinion. So the issue that the majority of the members of the committee argued along these lines in terms of the first paragraph, I don't think it's necessary. It's either we have to rework this sentence and put it in another way, or we just remove that one, Chair. It's not necessary to reflect on this. I agree with the members. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Horn.
Thank you, Chair. Morning from my side. Yes, well, Chair, I can recall vividly a number of committee reports of this very committee who in the past have made it clear that the majority of members only supported a specific decision, and by implication meaning that the decision taken at the time was not unanimous. That is, of course, as not only the Honourable Breitenbach, but firstly the Honourable Janki insisted this morning earlier, to reflect properly and accurately what happened during committee deliberations and not create a skewed picture. So whilst I, on a personal level, have full sympathy for those members who didn't want to accept, I think, quite clear and reasonable advice at the time, I don't think it would be fair and accurate to now sanitize a report and remove some of the inconvenient facts for the majority of this committee. So the majority can use its majority to sanitize this report, but that in effect will then mean that it is not an accurate reflection of what ultimately contributed to the situation where we are finding ourselves as a committee and as a parliament, and that will, in the end, unfortunately, also reflect rather on the majority than on the committee as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members, I think, should we put this to a formal vote, or I make a decision that based on the majority of the views expressed, we will agree with 8.3 until where it says fully in the proceedings, then we delete the majority of members that line until Mkwebane's recusal. Do you want to
take the second option?
So we agree with the removal of that particular paragraph. I'm not sure. I think, are these old hands or new hands?
Mine's a new hand.
Okay.
Old hand, Chair.
Honorable
No.
Honorable Masako, is it a new hand?
Historic, Chair. Just removed it.
Honorable Judge, is it a new hand?
It's a new hand, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Breitenbach?
I thought Honorable Janki was going to speak. He says it's a new hand.
Yeah, I said that after you. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we don't agree that that gets removed. You can remove it, of course. You can use your numbers to do whatever you want with this report. It will not reflect what happened. I see that the ANC is this morning suffering from selective amnesia. That's a pity. It's a real pity. It's not the way this committee has conducted itself generally up to now. It's very obvious that the ANC has forgotten how they argued passionately for the matter to proceed on the last occasion, how they refused to listen to their advice that we gave them. And as a matter of interest, it was only the DA who raised this issue. No one in the ANC raised it. And it was only the DA who pointed out the correct position. So that's just unfortunate. It is how it is. But you can use whatever means you like to sanitize this report. It will not make it accurate. It will not make it correct. And it will not absolve you of having failed in your duty. Thank you.
Honorable Janche?
No, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Firstly, to just make the point quite clear that what we're disagreeing with is not what was in the report. What we're disagreeing with is an introduced amendment made by Honorable Breitenbach to the original report that was there. And so I think that point must come clear that we don't agree with a suggested amendment to 8.3 of the report. And perhaps to just elaborate this point, Chair, about the DNA of the report. If the secretariat goes to the shortlisting section, quickly, just I want to make a point there. It's up. I don't know what section is that. It's 6.2. If you go to 6.2, the shortlisting section, which says on 28th of February 2024, the committee met to discuss the nominations and applications received and agreed to shortlist the following 8 candidates. And now we know in the meeting, for example, we could easily have said that if this is the route they want to take, that the DA never even participated, never said a word on this, if we are to have to lift parties on these issues. But that's not how we write reports. And all of a sudden, they're now introducing something that elevates party outside of committee work. And so I was just making that as an example. And we're still going to go further to prove the point about the intention, because in the House, if we're to go for a debate, I would make the point, but this is a point I would not make in the report, that the DA, members of the DA, in the first closed session, even though they knew about these issues around Advocate Mkhwebane, said nothing. And you know why? Because there was no media gallery in that closed session. So I wouldn't say that in the committee meeting, I would say it in the debate. And so to clean this to be a committee oversight report. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Janche, I generally think that let's stick to both yourself and Honorable Breitenbach. Let's stick to the procedure of the meeting. Once we have voted on the matter is closed because voting is a deadlock breaking mechanism. So I think there was generally, I gave you but there was generally no need for to re-argue the point, because people have got a right to argue and make their points heard before the debate, before the voting. Can we proceed in that way, that we will debate issues, and then once we come to a situation where we don't agree, and then we have to go for voting, that must end the matter. I suggest let's proceed that way. So we have agreed to remove this particular paragraph. Let's proceed. 8.4. Point 4, 8.5, sorry, 8.5. We are fine with 8.5. I don't see any hands. 8.6. And 0.7. We are fine with 8, Honorable Maseko Jele.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm also, when I was reading, I was also looking at the last submission on 8.7, the last paragraph, I meant to say sentence, where the Democratic Alliance says they have registered an objection and proceeded only under protest. This line, Chair, it really talks to what Honorable Janchi was talking about. Chair, we understand that, yes, they registered the objection, but also it cannot be correct that they proceeded only under protest, because it gives an impression. In fact, it talks to that sentence that we have deleted, that it is only them who in fact, they are the ones who pushed that we should, Chair, get that legal advice, as if they are the only ones. I'm not trying to maybe to I don't know how to put it, but I'm saying I'm not happy about this other and proceeded only under protest, as if we were pushing, we were forcing that the committee must go on, even if we have received the advice, the legal advice. We were all agreeing that let the legal advice come, and we will continue. We will look into that report into details, and it will be advised accordingly. After we have decided that the advice that we have received in the meeting was not sufficient because of the information that came during the discussion. So if you are saying only under protest, I don't think it's properly, Chair. They have raised the issue. As a committee, we worked on the issue, and we agreed that we are, like as we always do, moving as a committee. So now this is just like as if it's elevating them to a certain level that we don't understand. I don't know, Chair, but I feel like it should be the Democratic Alliance registered their objections, as we normally do in the meetings. It should read like that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I see no other hand. Any seconder to what Honorable Maseko Jele says?
Seconded, Chair, seconded the protest.
Any objection?
Yes, Chair, please
Yes,
note
we
our
obviously
objection.
Okay.
This is once again an opportunity to include us in the ill-fated decisions of the majority of the committee.
Now I will put the question. Those in favor, can they raise their hands? You can raise your hands here. Against?
Against.
Yeah, lower your hands, and then those against Honorable Breitenbach on it. So the yes have it. So this one will be
Honorable
removed.
Maseko, Jaylee can't vote twice. She's bad
No,
at it, can't vote twice.
I took it down. How?
Okay, that one will be removed. Let's proceed.
You'd all be ashamed of yourselves. Shame.
Yeah, I guess that is a second protest.
Let's proceed.
It's almost as weak an argument as your one was in the committee.
9.2. Let me look at committee secretary will also advise if there are hands. Okay, there are no hands. We are fine with 9.2, 9.21. I don't see hands. 9.2.2. I don't see hands. Up to 9.2.3. Okay, let's proceed. 9.3, 9.3.1, 9.3.2, 9.3.3, 9.4, 9.5, 9.6, 9.7, 9.8, 9.9, 10, 10.1, 10.2, 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, 10.11, 11.1, 11.2, 12, 12.1. I now put the report as amended. Is there any mover for the adoption of the report as amended? Honorable Maseko Jele.
Thank you, Chairperson. I move for the adoption of the report as amended. Thank you.
Thank you. Any seconder?
Honorable Neo Drugen, seconds for the amended report.
Thank you very much. Any objections?
Most certainly we object.
With the objections, can we now put the report? Those in favor of the report, can you please raise your hands? Those not in favor of the report, please raise your hands. Honorable Nevot Drugen, Honorable, then yes. The yes have it. The report is adopted by majority decision.
No, but we're not allowed to say that, Chair.
Shame on you. I hope you're all ashamed of yourselves. You deserve to be.
Your member said we're not allowed to say the majority support.
No, this is the decision of the vote, not of the deliberations. The report is adopted by majority decision. That brings us to the end of the meeting. The meeting is adjourned.
ANC loves to be wrong.
Difference between deliberations and voting.
DA wants to score points even where it's not necessary.
I think they got defeated from the VDs. Now they want to do electioneering.
Chairperson, I hope you have noted the objection of the EFF. Never recognized. I said,
but the meeting is adjourned.
The meeting is adjourned, Chair.
I've raised my hand and was confusing.
No, 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 no.
It's fine. It's fine. You are puppets of the white people.
The chair has left.
Can the meeting please, can we stop the meeting?
I'll make sure that you guys account. You are scheming with the white people and you are their puppets. Bye-bye.
Aibo, can we ask the chair to come in and attend to this? This is funny. I mean, what
The chair has long left, Richard.
Yeah, the puppets, man. Chair must come in.
I
and
just see a
attend
long chair meeting. Utswela pele.